Okay, we have action. This is an interesting setup, but whatever. I don't know. Do I hold it? What do I do here? I don't want to hold it. I kind of wanted to. I wanted to talk to the to the water. Oh my god. Oh, just a heron. You're not gonna be able to see it from here. I don't know what I'm doing. It just came in, swooped in, and landed on that log. See, I'm already way off track. How am I supposed to make video when my brain does this? Okay. I don't know. I don't care. I'm done. Oh, okay. No, I wanted to talk to the camera. Fuck me. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of wing it right here. Is that weird? There's nothing about this that isn't weird, you know? YouTube, weird. Ah, okay. So this one's a little different. I have an idea. An idea? Who knew? No, I have an idea about who I want to talk to. That's different because I'm usually not sure of who my message is really for. Not to mention what my message actually is. But this video, who I want to talk to, well, is you. And you, if you're the one I'm thinking of, you kind of hate dancing. Like it feels awful to you. Maybe when you try it, you're dancing and there's other people around, maybe you can't do anything but think about what other people think about you. And it's just not fun. And maybe you see other people and they kind of looks like they're having fun and you're wondering what the hell are you missing and what's wrong here. And it's fucking depressing to be so cut off, to feel disconnected like that. Like, what do they have that I don't? Why does it feel like shit when I try and dance? You know? Why is it misery? Why would I rather endure some physical pain? You know? Like, come on, just torture me instead. So, if that describes your experience, first of all, yes, that's who I want to talk to. You are who I want to talk to. But what I want to say is that that's an absolutely incredible place to be. Okay. Now, why on earth would I say that? It's ridiculous, right? But just go with me here. You're in a beautiful, a privileged place, a place where I can now look at that and say, oh my God, I could see doing that again. So I used to hate dancing, just like I described there. Made me feel absolutely awful. And it's been like that for as long as I can remember. I don't actually have any memory before the last few years, really recent. I don't have any memory of enjoying dancing. Isn't that kind of wild? I mean, I didn't know dancing was a big deal. I didn't know it was so fundamental and important on very real experienced levels, just in all life. I didn't know. And I didn't know because no, because it wasn't in my environment for me to learn. And the ways that it was in my environment to learn, it didn't get to me in the way that it would need to actually give me what I would need to be able to pick it up. I was, either implicitly or explicitly told that dancing wasn't good, it wasn't safe, it wasn't appropriate. On some level, I got that message. I don't know exactly how. Like, I could speculate forever. I probably will, but I arrived here in adulthood hating to dance. And maybe it was not having it role modeled to me appropriately. Maybe it was being teased about it for some reason. Maybe it was hearing that, white people can't dance. Maybe, who knows? Again, you can speculate forever. But I went from that place of hating dance and dreading it. If I knew it was going to happen, like if I was going to a wedding, it's like, oh, fuck, there's going to be dancing. In fact, I do want to tell you one specific story. I went to a wedding with my then girlfriend. This is years and years ago. And she wanted to dance, naturally. She was excited about dancing at this wedding, having fun, We're there, and she wants to dance with me, naturally. And I kind of tried briefly. But like always, I just hated it. I couldn't have fun. There was no part of it was fun. Like zero. There was no part of it where I was like, yeah, but at least this part is cool. I was like, no, not fun. So pretty quickly, I stopped, and my girlfriend was, kind of like, yeah, come on, like I want to dance. Like I want to have fun. Let's dance. And I just didn't. I kind of got mad. I was like, no, I don't want to do it because it's not fun for me. Like, why can't you respect that or something? And so I go and I sit down. I'm sitting there, and she, I don't remember what she said, but it was something to the effect of, well, I'm going to keep dancing, like, okay, but I'm going to continue to have fun. And I was like, all right, whatever. So then I got to go through this really uncomfortable thing of sitting there at this wedding, listening to all this fun music, but feeling awful, just feeling just really shitty. And then watching my girlfriend dance and have a lot of fun with other guys. Like she was clearly having a great time because she loved dancing. She was having fun with a capital F. It was the real deal. And it was a kind of fun that her and I didn't have together. And I had to sit there and watch it and just feel awful. Really just like feel like a piece of shit and really pathetic and just, so pissed off. And I from that and other experiences, I developed a bit of a bitterness towards dancing. So why would I say that you're lucky if you hate dancing? What is that about? And I had this thought about how we're all on this roller coaster ride, and right now, if you're really scared of dancing, you hate it, and you don't feel like it, you were meant for it or something. Like you got skipped over. And if it terrifies you when you start moving your body like that in front of other people, if that terrifies you, holy shit, that means that you're on the part of the roller coaster. So when you think of like the silhouette of kind of a classic quintessential roller coaster, I'm going to try and draw it here in the air. It starts with this big incline and then goes down the big drop, and then there's some littler stuff, maybe a loop, and it kind of comes around and then it drops you off again. But that big incline at the beginning that starts you off with the big drop. So right now, with all of your fear about dancing, that's you way up there at the top of that hill. And in your whole life, it's been going up. You know the sound that roller coasters make is like tick 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 as it winches you up that giant hill. That's like your lifetime of fear. Every time you were shown in some way to be afraid of dancing, you got teased or something, it was taking you higher up that steep slope. And now you're sitting at the top. You're way up at the top, you're an adult, and you're like, you've given up on dancing. Like it's so fucking scary, and you should have learned it a long time ago kind of thing. Like it's way too late. You're way up here at the top of the hill, and what you're doing is you're peeking over the edge and you're saying, oh hell no. You're saying, hell no. The fear in you is absolutely just screaming, like, whatever you do not go down. Like, you need to get off of this ride. You need to get back on flat level ground. Do not go over that drop off. And so you don't. And so you stay up there. You're just like, I don't know. You're grinding, your feet into the tracks or something. You're like, stop. You're trying to prevent this roller coaster from actually getting over the hump. And so you're just stuck up there. On top of the roller coaster. And by the way, in this scenario, in this hypothetical here, you're afraid of heights, I should emphasize. So you're stuck up there at the top of a roller coaster, and you're just living in fear up there. You're not letting it go over the edge, and you're not going back, you're just stuck up there. And I say you're lucky because, well, turns out roller coasters are really fucking fun. And when you go over that hill, when you take the drop, I mean, I am excited for you, and I consider you to be in a lucky position. You're about to start your ride, like really about to start your ride. Because once you go over, and once you're in that fall coming down, and you lose yourself, you lose your sense of self, and you just become sensation. And then you're on this fantastic ride. You're no longer in control, and you get to just let it hit you. All of the twists and turns, all the loops, you get to just have it fed to your consciousness. And it is fun. It's the ride that you had been wanting when you got in line. You'd been standing in line the whole time, and then you got in your seat and everything, and the whole time you were hoping to go on a roller coaster ride. But on somewhere on the way up, with all the fear taking you up to the top of that first hill, you forgot. You forgot that the point was to let go and enjoy the ride. But instead, you tried to stop it and control it. You said, no, if I go over that cliff, then something bad is going to happen. And I can't do that. It's not okay. I have to control this. I don't want a roller coaster ride anymore. I want to know exactly what's going to happen and why, and I want to control every bit of it. Now I'm telling you this, but really it's me. I'm still just talking to me, you know. I was trying to control my life. I was trying to predict it. I was trying to plan it. I was trying to make it how I thought it should be. And turns out that's not a fun roller coaster. That's a sucky roller coaster. The one where you make it and you know it's coming and you're just working really hard to make it just how you think it should be, and nothing surprises you. And nothing is better than you could have planned because you planned everything. And so I I went down. I or I'm going down. You know, you don't know where you are in the roller coaster, no matter what. You can't state specifically, I'm at this point in the roller coaster. You don't know what's coming, because that's the point. But anyway, it feels like right now that I went down that big slope. And and now I get to surrender to the roller coaster ride. I don't know what's coming. I don't know anything. But there's a beauty in trusting that it's going to be great. And it's only going to not be great the more I try and control it. So, how did I get down? You know, how did I do that? I mean, my path was a little bumpy and not direct by any means. In fact, I wonder if there's even anything that somebody could do to, you know, improve somebody else's path. Like, what does that even mean? But I'm going to stick to what I said earlier. I think you're lucky, because being up at the top of that roller coaster is a really fucking fun spot to be, especially if you can wake up while you're up there and go, oh, how else could I be about this? Instead of being afraid and controlling, what's the right mindset to be when embarking on a roller coaster journey? How could you enjoy that roller coaster ride the most? I personally, I'm done trying to control it, or at least I'm working on it. And I want to be open. I want to be open. Be open to the adventure of it. And it turns out that dancing, you see, I can't speak to other ways of doing it because I did it with the dancing. But it was really cool for me. It was a hell of a way to go down the roller coaster. It hit on so many levels. And it's still, I feel like I've maybe experienced like a few, 3 or 4% of dancing. Like, I'm just absolutely scratching the surface. But it is absolutely transformative, without hyperbole in the slightest. It is profound. It is changing me, because it is important, and it's important for everyone. It's important for all of us. Period. Think about our abilities with language, how we communicate verbally, you know, and how important that is. And what would you do if you didn't have access to that? How much would that impact your life? You couldn't fucking speak to people. You could no longer, and I'm kind of including like writing and things like that, but if you could no longer communicate in, you know, your native language with the people around you, holy shit, how limited you would feel. And now picture this: dancing uses basically a similar, it's a similar network in your body, in your nervous system, as a way of communicating. Dancing is communication. And it is older and more comprehensive by far than verbal language. Like, humans have been dancing longer than we've been talking to each other. And dancing allows, think of the number of joints in your body, and they all are there so you can move them, and they all participate in the communication that is dance. And then all of the ways of modifying it with external factors, whether it's your clothing or, you know, other ceremonial things or whatever. But the dance is, it's orders of magnitude more than spoken language. Spoken language is like, come on, we all work with a few thousand words and limited time. It takes a long time. Like, look at this. This video is, I'm already at 22 minutes. It takes a long time, and it's not easy to communicate something with just language. That's why we have, you know, body language, and that's why we have dancing. Things like that. Art. Because verbal language is a really poor attempt at describing and communicating experience. But dancing is like, that's just, it's transmitted directly. It's almost like it is the experience instead of a description of the experience. It is the experience. And I got cut off from that. I lost it. And so I've been living my whole life without the toolbox of dance. You know, all of the various parts, all the different ways dance impacts us, really profound, deep ways. I lost the key to those things, or at least I had to. What had happened was I had to try and compensate. We all adapt. We do what we have to do to just survive. And so I had to adapt. If I couldn't, and this is just me making shit up. You know, I could be wrong about this, but just consider the way these things could play out. I didn't have the fundamental way that, say, a male courts a female. And I know that sounds kind of weird now in our modern lives, but basically for forever, guys and girls have been dancing to try and attract a mate. Yeah, this is a serious thing. It's not like it's not a little part of our history. It's a pretty big deal. And in an intact culture that still had that, if that was where you were, then you would have been exposed to this dancing naturally. You would have been brought up in using dance to really express yourself and connect with someone that appreciates your dance, which is to say, appreciates you. So I didn't have that at all. And then, you arrive in like 7th grade or something. You're what, 12, 11, something like that. And the school puts on a dance and they throw all these little kids into the room and expect us to have any idea what we're doing. And, in retrospect, it's like, holy shit, that's fucking traumatic. Speaking for like the boys that didn't have the dance in them, it was an awful place to be. It was like, oh God, I'm getting made fun of. I got all these eyes on me. I'm incredibly insecure, and I don't know what I'm doing. And you could say there's value in that experience, and I don't disagree. But at the same time, it seems kind of cruel to not give them what they need and then throwing them in and say, all right, go at it. And for myself, I know that I just ended up in a place where I was just so terrified of dancing. It was just, there was no part of it that was enjoyable. So we got cut off from, I can't even, I cannot explain without just, running out of battery on my camera. I can't explain all of the ways that dance is important, from spirituality perspective to emotional perspective, physical perspective, all of these things. It's kind of everything. And I got cut off from it. And you did too, apparently. But now I get to reclaim it. And I get to discover it. And what do you discover? You discover something you don't know. If you already knew it, then it wouldn't be a discovery. So I get to explore and make discoveries. It's like I feel like I've landed on new land. A beautiful, wild continent that now I get to explore. And that continent has things like, having fun, being authentic, having passion, getting to be me. I can't really raise. You ever try to raise your ring finger and it doesn't go all the way? So I have to raise my pinky first, then the ring finger. Anyway. I'm healing that disconnect. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying, oh no, I got a piece of it and I really like it and I want more. And so I get to bring dance back into my life. And I'm excited for you because I know that you will love it. You will, because it's fucking amazing. It's like it's perfect, It'd be hard to find something that is more fun for a human than to be themselves and dance. To lose themselves, to stop being the weird Frankenstein of an identity that they've cobbled together over the years out of fear. It's actually really cool to drop that and dance. And the dance shows you where you're still having issues. The more blocked your dance is, well, that's those are the areas where we're still waiting on some love and acceptance. And as you get that love and acceptance, as you just accept yourself and the way you are, then your dance comes out. It comes out. You don't have to make it. It's just already there and it gets to come out. Nah. I am gonna wrap this up because Jesus. Half an hour. Oh my God. I'm gonna talk a lot more about this. And I'm gonna help you go down the roller coaster. And that's a really fun thing for me to think about. I get to be that then. I get to help people go down that terrifying first hill, and then see them enjoy that ride.